See you, Cal. We've got Prop Queen Edges of the Day coming up now. Let me just tweet it. Prop Queen Edges of the Day in MLB and NFL. I'm going to do some NFL preview stuff as well for this weekend. So NFL props, Alvin Kamara over 45.5 rushing yards. He is getting the second worst run D in football, the Chicago Bears. So if there is any way that the Saints cover the game, which Kelly and I both feel they can and win outright, it's because of Alvin Kamara. So over 45.5 rushing yards, give him the football, let them maintain time of possession, and go over 45.5. I've seen it go up to 46. Jackson Dart, under 17.5 completions. This is in plus money. He only went over this once this year. I know it's only been like 3 starts. However, getting a Denver D that applies the most pressure on quarterbacks this season. This is going to be one of the toughest matchups of the year for Dart, who has to now travel in altitude after coming off of a primetime massive win over his division rival Philadelphia Eagles, who, by the way, he has to face again next week. Terrible spot for Dart. Under 17.5 completions against the Broncos. Daniel Jones, over 15.5 rushing yards. I love this one because he's getting a Chargers D that has allowed the most rushing yards per game to quarterbacks. And we know Daniel Jones likes to use his feet. And on the road in his last 10 games overall, he's averaging 18 to 19 rushing yards a game. Daniel Jones over his rushing yards, and that's a close spread as well. So to keep them in the game, he's going to have to use his feet. Look at the chat. I'm on Dart under rushing. Okay. Anyway, Major League Baseball. So some Major League Baseball props that I was looking at. The only thing I actually really bet today was, like mid-major Matt said, going over 1.5 runs in the first 5 innings for the Toronto Blue Jays. I just like the Jays are putting up 21 runs in the last 2 games. They're batting .301 this postseason. The Jays, remember, also swept the Mariners in Seattle, so they haven't lost a game yet in Seattle. Miller's allowed an average of just over 3 runs per game in his last 10 home starts. He's gone over his earned runs allowed in 78% of home games. They're seeing Miller for a second time. So I'm going to go over here. Team total, first 5, 1.5 runs. I feel like it's very low. It's minus 125. I was leaning towards the over on Gossman, 5.5 Ks. Again, this game's starting in about 10 minutes. The afternoon shadows have been profitable. Reportedly, afternoon shadows aren't as bad in Seattle as they are in LA. But Gossman's in a good position. The Mariners are averaging just under 7 strikeouts a game against starters this postseason. The Mariners are hitting just .215 this postseason. And Gossman's punched out 6 or more batters in 6 of his last 10 road games. So you could look there also. Julio Rodriguez, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. He's been hitting the ball really well in day games at home. He's averaging just over 3 hits, runs, and RBI per game in his last 10 afternoon games in Seattle. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., obviously, has been great. He's averaging just under 3 hits, runs, and RBI through 8 games since last year. Obviously, it scares me to bet the same thing every game of a series, but just letting you know that it's still worth noting that his numbers on the road in the afternoon have been very profitable. He's gone over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI, Vladdy, in 7 of the last 10, 12 of the last 20 in the afternoon on the road. And in all 3 afternoon games that he's played in Seattle, Vladdy has gone over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. Again, if you want to back the George Springer trend, his over half a run is at even money. It's hit in 4 straight games in Seattle. Springer's only 2 for 9 against Miller in his career, but he does have 2 homers against him. Again, same thing as Vladdy, kind of concerning that it's been hitting. So, all good things must come to an end. Cal Raleigh, he's gone over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI with 2 in his last 2 games against Kevin Gossman. He's hitting .471, going 8 for 17 with 4 homers in his career against Gossman. Eugenio Suarez, 7 for 24 with a double and a home run, 4 ribbies against Gossman. That's a .292 batting average. He hasn't driven in a run yet this series, but an RBI is plus 238 for Suarez. It's cashed 55% of his last 20 away afternoon games. There wasn't much that I loved in the NLCS tonight. I struggle with, Milwaukee has been really good on the road, but they've been bad now. And Shohei Ohtani, he's getting the start It's his first career postseason home start. He's been pitching great. He owns a 1.40 ERA with 36 strikeouts in his last 5 starts. So I lean to the over 6.5 Ks. It feels inflated. He's punched out 8 and 9 in 2 of his last 3 home starts, 2 of his last 3 overall starts, which were on the road against Arizona and Philly. Through the last 3 games, Milwaukee struck out 10, 7, and 8 times. Ohtani could get over 6.5 Ks. He's been going over outs as well. He's had 18 outs in his last 2 starts. You could go that route as well. Dave Roberts used the pen to cover about 3 innings yesterday, so maybe he doesn't want to use the pen as soon today. They're up 3-0, so you have a little bit of wiggle room there for Ohtani. And then the only thing I would stay away from Ohtani tonight is the hits allowed. Shohei has allowed under 3.5 hits in 6 of 7 home starts, but remember, he wasn't going as deep into those games. Milwaukee's averaging just over 3 hits per starter, so this market's kind of spot on there.